What's going on, family? It's your guy, Boro the Lucky Libra. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. As y'all can see by the title, we picking up the signs through the houses series with Sagittarius in the 7th house. All right, so shout out to all my Gemini risings. Before we get into it, make sure to like, share, subscribe so we can circulate these gems. Make sure to tap into my website if you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra, and tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Let's get right into it. All right, so the 7th house. What's the 7th house? The house of relationships, the house of partnerships, you know, the house that influences marriage, the house that influences the type of partners we may attract in our life, okay? The house that has a whole lot to do with how we learn about our personality and our personal interests and how our natural personal outlook is constructed, aka the first house, how we learn about ourselves through others, through the opposite house of our first house, our personality. Now, when we throw Sagittarius in here, all right? When we throw Sagittarius in here, shout out to all my Gemini risings, okay? Once again, the opposite sign, whatever sign you have in your first house, the opposite sign gonna be in your 7th house, because the opposite always teach you about yourself. So we got the communicative, intellectual personality of the Gemini rising, the Mercury ruled chart, all right? So this person's gonna be dealing with, you know, gonna be perceived as a thinker, free thinker, intelligent, intellectual, you know, somebody that likes to process things with the thoughts, may even be seen as a flexible communicator, all right? Gemini risings may not come off as communicative as the suns or the moons, but they can jump into that energy. You know, it's just that, you know, one thing I've learned with the Gemini rising, they do a lot of they talking to themselves. So a lot of the things that the Gemini sun feels like they have to express, which is their thoughts, they have to express or be seen and get it out. And then the things that the Gemini moon feel like it's a need to react to communicating their thoughts, the Gemini rising is just their personality. So the energy to engage in communication ain't as high as the sun or moon. But anyways, we got that natural personality. And then when we get into Sagittarius, into the 7th house, man, Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter is fire. And then it's mutable. All right, it's mutable. So when we throw this sign here, first of all, the first thing we have to understand is, where's Jupiter at? We must find Jupiter. Okay, hold on, let me make sure I pull up my notes. So, okay, where's Jupiter at? We need to find Jupiter. Jupiter rules the 7th house. Jupiter has domain over this house. So whatever Jupiter is going through and whatever house Jupiter is in, it's going to bring those energies into this house. All right, it's important to understand. The house Jupiter is in is going to have a lot of potential to develop fruitful relationships here. You might have married your husband and your wife out of this house. You might have had a lot of your deep karmic relationships out this house. You may have found a lot of your support system in life in this house. Now, Sagittarius off rip. When we look at Sagittarius in the 7th house, okay, Sagittarius deals with you know, your knowledge, wisdom, experience, your ability to create new experiences, right? Your ability to learn and teach. So when we put it in the 7th house, these start to become traits that are in the people that they deal with for Gemini risings. These are traits that come with the people they attract, and then it could ultimately start to develop as into things that they seek in their relationships, you know. But from how I look at this is, when we put Gemini and Sagittarius in the 1st and the 7th house axis, these two signs deal with movement. All right, these two signs deal with movement. Okay, these signs like to move. They don't like to stay in the same place. They don't like complacency. They need to get out the house, stretch their muscles, get some vitamin D, you know. And when we put these energies here in the 1st and 7th house axis, what happens here, it's a lot of interaction. These people can meet a lot of people, build so many relationships that they know so much people, they forget names and they just know faces. They can manifest a lot of situations where the people in their life, and this goes for Sagittarius risings too. Just having these two signs on the axis, because remember, opposite signs are connected to each other. And when we put this in the 1st, 7th house, these people can manifest so many experiences dealing with interaction with individuals from so many different faces and places. You know, you could grow up in the hood, but by the time you're 21, things that were of your personal interest may have connected you to so many different people, you know, from different backgrounds. Maybe you was an athlete in high school and for your majority of your life. Maybe you should get into certain competitions and it connected you to certain people. Maybe you have somebody in the family that traveled a lot, or and then like shit like that, all right? You'll manifest certain things in your personal life that connect you to a lot of different faces and places. Now, what happens? Why do I bring that up? Because with Sagittarius in the 7th house, having the influence of bringing a lot of adventure experiences, the Sagittarius in the 7th house individual could start to you know, find themselves in situations where they are not looking to get stable in relationships. They're more so looking to continue to experience here. So they can become wanderers in relationships, to the point is like stability ain't a stable relationship ain't really their thing. They might look down on that, you know. They might look at somebody that really likes them at times and wants to invest in a relationship, build something with them. They might look at that as what? Restriction, a limitation. Because Sagittarius needs to experience wherever it's at, you know. And these individuals may have a lot of options because they know so much people. You know, they may have a lot of options, and that Jupiter or Sag influence, once again, it's hard to stabilize it sometimes. It's hard to ground it. It wants to move. It wants to touch others. It wants to circulate its awareness and knowledge and wisdom with others. So that's why I think over time they start to want to, you know, statistically, they say Gemini risings, because of this axis, you guys get married late, get into stable relationships late in life because of the need to experience and learn through relationships. Okay, so this is why I feel like it gets to a point with Sagittarius here that Sagittarius here won't make somebody from the gate want to connect with somebody that share the same belief systems and whatnot with them. But through their experiences dealing with people, they build certain beliefs in their life or whatnot. They build certain morals, ethics, and codes that they want to conduct themselves by. And then that becomes something that has to become a standard later in life when they do connect with somebody. Okay? So you guys may do research here and there, and you may see, you know, Sagittarius in the 7th house, this and the 3rd. You know, they want partners that can teach them, knowledgeable partners that they can experience with, this and the 3rd. True. This is all true. But a lot of that can develop from the Gemini rising, experiencing so much with relationships to the point, you know, all these relationships that I experience, friendships I experience, interactions with different people, and observing the relationships of friends and people around me, this starts to develop. All right, I think I'm able to connect with somebody in a more stable situation now. All right, Sagittarius is free-spirited. Sagittarius is a real free-spirited energy. So it's hard to want to commit early in life. It's just is what it is. Sometimes it's hard for that Sagittarius in the 7th house to commit early in life here. You know, now the partner may be very knowledgeable. The partner may be very independent. There's going to be a strong sense of independence here. So the Gemini rising wants to feel independent. That's why they don't low-key want to tie down situations with other individuals, and then the people that they attract may be real individual, and these might be the individuals. I was running all over the place before I sat down and did this video. I should have cooled off a little bit. But these individuals, the people that they attract that's very independent are the ones they start to like a lot, because they love the fact that they could connect with this person, create an experience with this person, and then not feel the sense of, you know, being tied down to the person, or the person being a responsibility. Sagittarius energy don't like heavy responsibility or burdens, you know, so they can play out a lot of detached energies here. This can be your detached lover. You know, things is great when y'all get together. Things is very harmonious when y'all get together. But there's going to probably be a need of a sense of space here. They're probably going to want some space. You're probably going to want to, you know, have some boundaries. They're not going to do clinginess. Gemini rise, they don't do clinginess. They don't like that. That'll make them run. That'll make them run away. All right. Talking about space, and we know Sagittarius rules long distance. These are the Gemini, these are the people that can do long distance relationships. You know, probably with a little tweaks into it. Like, all right, we could date long distance. You could do what you do over there. Just don't do this, that, and the third. I won't be doing this, that, and the third. They may develop these type of alternatives to their relationship. They may feel more comfortable with distance between their partner at times, or somebody that they're dating. So all of this comes into a detached nature in their relationships. And a lot of time they have to feel fulfilled in their relationships before they get down and get settled with somebody. Now, you can't get lost in that, though. If you have this alignment, if this is you're Gemini rising, you got to be careful not getting lost in that, in being a super wanderer in relationships. I'm not saying to commit. I'm not saying that you got to force yourself to commit into a relationship, but this Sagittarius, two things about Sagittarius and Gemini have in common as sister signs, opposite signs. They're both curious as hell. So don't think because it's just Mercury in the first house. No, Jupiter in the seventh house. Sagittarius is curious when it comes to something they feel like it could be a thrill, a great experience. So when it comes into relationships, I'm not saying that you have to commit. You have to force yourself to commit. I'm saying that there comes a time that maybe you don't have to keep experiencing to understand what you want. Sagittarius brings so much experiences wherever it's at. You're going to be learning a lot wherever it's at. So just having Sagittarius in the seventh house, spirit going to let you know when you kind of are putting yourself in a position to not be fulfilled with relationships because you're looking for something, you're looking for a new experience. And this starts, you can manifest situations where you have to learn to, you know, pour into yourself, you know, deal with some more personal energies in order to manifest, attract people who relate to the beliefs that you have. Now, back to this, your beliefs, philosophical energy, spirituality. These individuals, you gotta share that. You gotta share that. You're gonna have to share that. It's hard for the Sagittarius in some house to try to build a connection with somebody that they have, you know, big differences with from a belief system point of view, because this is what makes them more enlightened to teach you or learn from you. All right, they could have real Sapio-like energies here. Okay, they could love to be taught. Or one thing here, Sagittarius 7th house, if you're dating a Gemini rising, or somebody with Sagittarius in the 7th house, just know they like uplifting relationships. They don't like pattern and routine and no surprises and no adventures and no new experiences and no trips and no, let's do something. I don't want to be in the house all day. Can we just at least, it's Saturday, the weather's good, let's go drive to motherfucking Central Park and have lunch outside, like shit like that. Sagittarius want these type of vibes in the relationship. They want to look back and be able to be like, damn, these past 8 months, look at everything we did. Or Happy New Year's, babe. Look at everything we did this year. Look at all the things we experienced. They're going to want things like that. They're going to want things like that. There's a sense of adventure that needs to be fulfilled in the 7th house. So this is why, Gemini rising, you got to be careful that your sense of adventuring and experiencing new things with people and all that doesn't lead you to very reckless and chaotic situations in your relationships, because you may have lacked a bit of discipline, maybe, you know, or lacked a little bit of discernment jumping into certain situations with other people. All right. But the partner that you attract here may be, you know, real smart individuals. You could attract partners here or deal with a lot of people that have strong morals or ethics, or you'll manifest a lot of mentor, teacher-like people in your life. And it's really your friend, but it plays out like a mentor relationship. You know, they're only a year older than you, 2 years older than you, whatnot. That's the homie, that's your home girl. But it plays out like they a fucking guardian angel or some shit. They're real knowledgeable. They see things you don't see about yourself. They help you with your self-development. They help you develop more morals and ethics in your life. All right? So this could be a lot of the intimate partners you deal with in your life. Another thing about Sagittarius in the 7th house, these individuals, when they get out of relationships, they ain't holding on to shit in their relationships. They're pretty good at understanding why a relationship expired and taking the lesson from it. So y'all have heard me say relationships are experiences, and we jump into them to learn ourselves. And when the Sagittarius in the 7th house individual, when the relationship expires, they're not going to hold their head about certain things, because they're going to look at it from more of a philosophical perspective. Damn, what was I supposed to learn from this relationship? Okay, maybe I did attract this person to teach me this. Or damn, maybe that thing I was telling myself I got to be better with was the reason why this relationship terminated, and that's what I got to learn. So my next relationship, I don't repeat that shit. They're going to be good at that. They're going to be good at extracting the lesson from what they got to learn here. So people with Jupiter influence 7 houses are good at this. So this is Sag rising. I mean, Sag in the 7th house, Pisces in the 7th house, Virgo risings. This is Jupiter in the 7th house, Neptune in the 7th house. Okay. It brings a down-to-earth understanding as to what you got going on in your relationship. So yes, they can take the lesson from the relationships when it's over. They're not going to hold on to things, and they're going to develop philosophical views of the experience over here. You know, be careful not to be too naive with what's going on in your relationships. You got to have a sense of reality, and you got to be able to ground yourself when you feel like the people you connect to make you are developing chaos or reckless energies in your life, because you can manifest that as a Gemini rising, Sagittarius in the 7th house. Like I said, these two signs move a lot. These two signs are flexible. They deal with a lot of movement, a lot of interaction. So you can have that go on in your social circle. You can deal with a lot of peer pressure here. All right. But nonetheless, these are some free-spirited lovers. There's free-spirited lovers. Free-spirited lovers. They're going to love to be taught by their partner, or at least be able to experience new things with their partner. It's not saying that their partner got to be a motherfucking astrologer, or got to be, you know, Phil Valentine or Joel Pooklum or something. But they're going to want to learn new things with you, experiencing new things with you, you know. That sense of adventure, that sense of thrill with Sagittarius here, like they can't help it. That their partner's gonna have to need some of that shit. And it's almost to the point that they may like a partner that's a little too reckless, a little too chaotic, and they might like it. So you gotta be careful of that shit, you know. You got this one person over here treat you right, this, that, and the third, want to build with you. Then you got this one person over here pick you up, license expired, smoking on the highway, y'all just doing whatever. It's like, ooh, I like this. I don't know what's about to happen next, but it's a thrill every time this person pull up. So you got to be careful with that, all right? But that's what we got going on, Sagittarius, in the 7th house for the most part. We need to know where Jupiter is at, though. We need to know where Jupiter is at. That's going to have a huge influence on everything we just spoke about right now in the 7th house. And, you know, make sure that you're soaking up the moment when you're in experiences, instead of always looking towards what I could be experiencing, this and that, and the third. You could be overlooking the connections you're making right now. All right. So y'all already know the vibes, family. Like, share, subscribe so we can circulate these gems. Tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Tap into my website if you'd like to connect with the lucky Libra. Next episode, we picking it up with Capricorn in the 7th house. Until next time, peace.